Recently, so badly has the image of our judiciary deteriorated that many of our citizenry openly make mockery of our justice system and of our justices. The phrase, "go to court," is these days met with derisive laughter instead of hope that one will truly get justice if he went to the courts. If people are not poking fun about politics and inducements being used to sway the hand of justice in the lower courts, then it is poking fun and making statements about the 7-0 of the unanimous FC. Verdicts which mostly involve cases of a political nature in our Supreme Court. This is an unfortunate but serious development. One of the scariest existential threats to any democracy is when citizens think their judiciary holds no value for them or no use to them. And this is the security threat that the national security apparatus tried to draw the attention of the nation to recently, but was poorly received by the president and his party. It is scary because it threatens the peace and stability of our democracy, and we must quickly correct this fast-spreading notion. If care is not taken, we'll get to a stage where people will have no qualms about taking the law into their own hands because they do not have the confidence that they can get any justice from the system. There is therefore the urgent need for the Ghanaian judiciary to work to win the trust and confidence of the citizenry and erase the widely held perception of hostility and political bias in legal proceedings at the highest courts of the land. Unfortunately, we have no hope that the current leadership of our judiciary can lead such a process of change. We can only hope that a new Chief Justice will lead a process to repair the broken image that our judiciary has acquired over the last few years. Recently, so badly has the image of our judiciary deteriorated that many of our citizenry openly make mockery of our justice system and of our justices. The phrase, "go to court," is these days met with derisive laughter instead of hope that one will truly get justice if he went to the courts. If people are not poking fun about politics...
This is deep.
Very deep, very deep.
This is deep.
Okay, so before Akufo Addo response from Ghana Bar Association, and we take here or refer ne on analysis no based on the National Security Minister Orua Kandapa miame offer. They offer our observing about the current judicial system and the atmosphere.
Yes.
And he is the National Security Minister. And he advising the president. Now, the Ghana Bar Association, the judiciary, and Governor Daminum any issues with respect to Kandapa issue. No. Meanwhile, JM analysis was born out of Kandapa's statement, and he rightly mentioned it.
Injustice occasioned as a result of the absence of an effective justice.
You are watching Juicy News on YouTube. Hot news all time.
Biased justice is certainly a threat to national security. And indeed, when injustice abounds, particularly in situations where the bench, which is considered as the final arbiter of disputes, is deemed to be biased, citizens tend to take the law into their own hands, most times without recourse to the established systems of justice delivery. And similarly, the failure of the criminal justice system to ensure effective and expeditious trial of criminals adversely impact the morale of law enforcement agencies. It also emboldens criminals to perpetrate more crime and breeds lawlessness among the citizenry, developments which threaten the internal security of the state. If you are going to be able to address the security challenges that we have, especially the domestic ones, we need to be able to ensure that there is a judicial system that works. If you do not have a system, a judicial system that works, many people will simply take the laws into their own hands and misbehave and do what they want. Therefore, in trying to manage the security situation, it is important for us that we do get a judicial system that works. And we are all lucky that in the sub-region, we are perceived as a country where the judicial system works and where you could expect justice. If the interpretation of the law is tilted so much in our favor all the time, people will start accusing the judiciary and will not have the confidence that they need. Injustice occasioned as a result of the absence of an effective justice delivery system, or delayed justice, or biased justice, is certainly a threat to national security. And indeed, when injustice abounds, particularly in situations where the bench,
you are watching
which is
Juicy
considered
News on
as the
YouTube.
final
Hot news all
arbiter of
time.
disputes, is deemed to be biased, citizens tend to take the law into their own hands, most times without recourse to the established systems of justice delivery. And similarly, the failure
now, listen, on this issue, a man for are raising a year because now Omubusa and me say no be Busa, one of the NDC executives, they say Omu evidence say judicial no are partial and biased and blah 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 blah. Okay, so quick one. Yeah, young you remember Kennedy Agyapong?
Yeah, Kennedy Agyapong, yeah.
Kennedy Agyapong team the dia would be a high court judge. I'm not sure say me be answer and the threats or the man or no. Say me be answer it will take Akufo Addo the next 5 minutes to arrest me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Say it won't take him more than 5. Na me hu nti yamfa into so judge e de beto so without even asking for it. The Chief Justice me ye bia, we're going to make sure say be amend here because you cannot just send a to obi without his knowledge. You say you bu afematia, and some foolish lawyers are also behaving over tricks. How we here? First asasi, how we here? Me koya, ma many years ano. I'm saying court to no person minimum. I don't know to me because say oh who say me jina assassin so foolishness, and you a judge, you grant that. You are stupid judge.
Great scandal.
Oh no, please let me land. I want to land and solve my best issue. Today, maybe I don't know.
Bono East Regional Minister.
I would have today. And I'm your wife. And there, as I see, I'm holding for 18 years. I can't confirm chronophobia. What the year court. Meanwhile, on no comma, my children, Oko producing documents. Now, what there are fake documents in the crowd. He has gone to court. Why am I boof? The lawyer wrote the thing on the 5th of August. And was the appearance here 13. I didn't get anything. Now on the 1st of September, Mama the injunction court, you are a stupid judge. I will face you. You are a stupid judge. Who persuaded you? You are a stupid judge. Yes. 18 years that I've had the land.
Wow.
Every year, 7 me why me a friend say we are quite judge. We are moving. We are officer Mr. Obia. Maybe I'm in Tisa Nas or make you bribe. I will deal with you. Na me hu nti yamfa into so judge e de beto so without even asking for it. The Chief Justice me ye bia, we're going to make sure say be amend here because you cannot
just send it to be without his knowledge. Yes, and some foolish lawyers are also.
You are watching Juicy News on YouTube. Hot news all time.
The judge involved in this Kennedy Agyapong matter was transferred.
Yes.
The judge involved was transferred. Now, Delta forces belonging to Akufo Addo, a militia group, belonging Akufo Addo and a militia group, no, attack. Okay, so listen, we know. Kwapem say we are say we history say Akufo Addo timisuma tax to attack a certain court. Say court in process and Akufo Addo etimisuma and forever and ever no Saturday we be stay in our books forever. Minim how the difference between Akufo Addo and they talk about the Rawlings regime. But with all this, Akufo Addo says still be bien ho and oko who I said.
Just as government continues to implement policies to advance the rule of law and thereby reinforce the confidence of the people and shore up our nation's reputation as a country governed by the rule of law, there are some who have made it their political agenda to disparage systematically the image of the judiciary for selfish, parochial, partisan reasons. These are the plaintiffs who go to court, indeed to the highest court of the land, provide the skimpiest of evidence to back their claims, and yet insist that their claims be upheld, despite the elementary violation of the ancient common law rules for the discharge of the burden of proof that such a result would entail. It is no wonder that their claims were unanimously dismissed 7-0 by the apex court. The result of this case is in stark contrast to the result of a similar one in 2013, when the unsuccessful
you are watching Juicy News on YouTube.
Managed to persuade
all
4
time.
out of a 9-member court to find for them. And yet, the earlier plaintiffs chose not to wage a political war against the court. Ghana is governed in accordance with the rule of law and not on the basis of political considerations. It is important that all of us, especially us lawyers who cherish the democracy we are building, to say no to such persons and guard jealously our democratic way of life, which we have done so much to bring into being. Independent judges, administering the law, protecting the human rights of citizens, and ensuring public accountability are strong pillars of our democracy. Just as an independent electoral commission, noted for its efficiency and the transparency of its dealings, such pillar. Predictably, it is the object of the same anti-democratic attacks as those on the judiciary. Mercifully for all of us, these attacks have not shaken the confidence of the people in these institutions. Genuine Democrats should devote their energies to finding ways and means of strengthening the democratic institutions of our republic, instead of expending profitless time in undermining them. Now, colleagues, we know that the democracy we seek to build and entrench in Ghana will be consolidated when we have laid a prosperous economic foundation and our people are at peace with themselves and with the world.
Konyansa bieni asema wakani nyansa bakukura ni mumu di asema kwa court ama Samia ukwe didi judge atem ama Sir John of blessed memory didi judge atem so manim san enkatia eno no man waji war on the judiciary David etrewe eso obi wose ni tiri na adwene dam a edwene etrewe oye president ya ono editro enti na Sir John enti na atubiga ni akasa mi nua atubiga ono so no se no obo left adwene na ebo left enti na yachi ni kotum enti na kan krachi yachi ni kotum we wasi oni nyansa a wo kasa enti ye enkwala fa pen ni paper no mo ntworo kwara. To begin with, the Ghana Bar Association has lost its relevance, and they can only term themselves an Akufo Addo wing of the judiciary. That is the only definition you can give to the Ghana Bar Association. Afei mehu se Akufo Addo ne control the Ghana Bar Association.
You are watching Juicy News on YouTube.
MPP and Ghana Bar Association issue. Yeah, it has been. But President Akufo a lawyer ni. Time na President Akufo a lawyer no. Na Ghana Bar Association no more criticize President Akufo. True or false? I have a different opinion on this matter, but that's not the reason. So we will, because I don't know if you can provide us any evidence, which probably it will be like exactly until let's move on. Okay. So let's move on. But if you have a different opinion, you can share. But my opinion is that it's never true. That the Ghana Bar Association is never true. It's never true. It's never true. But then I'll do that tomorrow. Exactly. I'll provide you some details for the better part. That's all. But the Ghana Bar Association criticized Professor Mills, who is also a lawyer. Yes, because it's NDC. And they did it even more when it was John Mahama. I have said it here in your studio. And I think repetition is sometimes to just re-echo what I feel so strongly. Say, there is a brother that is heading the Bar Association today who is a well-known MPP activist. He shouldn't shy away from it. It's not bad to be an MPP person because yaw boafo senior ya boafo o MPP ni papa SK boafo MPP ni say ni nua ba krampo na ye Bar Association is secretary. Really? Yes, I think so. I start to, but I think so because I don't know. Say, you know, there. I'll find out as and when I go on. You see, there can say Bar Association. What's the meaning? Rule of law, meboa. Yeah. A country that believes in rule of law. Did you see the Bar Association write anything when? Sir, your friend is saying, and Kwasiafo ya Delta Force yi. Omukoma maame judge. E Johnny free na konya so. Na maame no sata omo se no onyimo. That's what I heard. That's also I also heard that. I couldn't verify. Say no onyima. Say be our point there. I don't know. Oh. They never said anything about it. They never raised any question about it. Now, I have not seen the Bar Association write anything in respect of Kennedy Agyapong brain tumor mente so ma kan ho asem aboho wa enkobeku omo. In fact, so ma ye bibi na me hu ya, they should bring it and let me see it and read it, knowing what I know and knowing what literature is. No, I can appreciate it and understand it better. I have not seen any such thing. I have not seen anything as regards the Kandapa Ekanya. And no, he was very explicit. Or say, if justice is always seen in our favor, as in our no, meaning say government no, or no, Akufo Addo any na pamfo no, our no, that is what he meant. Yeah. Say, if justice is seen in our favor, it should be interpreted to the public to be injustice. Always in our favor, always underlined. When you don't have to go to school to understand the word always, then you see a very useless president, very useless for his cause and useless to the bone, to his marrow.
You are watching Juicy News.
Express rule of law. When rule of law is supposed to make natural justice very effective and effectual to human and mankind. Who can we lawyer? And you did some court no. What was your proof? You went and put Baumia in the chair to say you and I were not there. Useless comment like that. Baumia passed that comment that you and I were not there. So if you and I were not there, what was your reason?
At least
for going to court?
They were able to convince
who?
For judges.
And who were those?
So you see
the political judges.
So
who were those?
So you see, listen to her.
Let me refer again. Asembe na akotapa court woko kan
nothing.
Asem woko kan ye nkwala nyina de ti classroom say, where did you come from to go to Kolebu? And he won 7-0. And this is the law. Wey Jimmy wey yete hon. Now there you go, and instead of you to be very ashamed of yourself,
so you need to be
ashamed way and see a chief justice has been induced. Listen, and it has become an international news.
Yeah, when you say Akufo Addo,
then you want to pride yourself.
When you say Akufo Addo a power no one hontoma with the statement.
Yes.
Okay, so let me explain here quickly.
Yes, please do.
So, which means 7-0 no a deliberate plan. Almost stage here. Munya ne 7-0 na mfa nkyerɛ sɛ meme deɛ no deɛ na ntiaseɛ wom but ɔno ne deɛ ne deɛ ntiaseɛ nim wapa judges no ntoma ho
yeah
wapa ɔmo ntoma
nyansani bi atiaseɛ
yes na Akufo Addo abie ɛyɛ konko no so
yes
ama obi atiaseɛ sɛ okay so the 7-0 no say 7-0 no nyina no ɛyɛ stage managed.
Yes.
And your reality, because Akufo Addo is a lawyer. You claim to be a lawyer. Anyway, me, I don't know whether he's a lawyer.
He's a lawyer, but without a certificate.
I don't know.
You can just say that. He's a lawyer. You cannot. Bar association now register no. And they register rogues like him. They register rogues. No, he's a lawyer. He won't be bar association member. But you cannot say he's not a lawyer. Just that you can say without a certificate.
Me name so a lawyer. You know, so you was arguing. Me name so a lawyer. So
it's bar association for the register non-lawyers.
Now where they and you might also come bini.
Me say then be very specific because
me say me who ya
enti bar association na register obi a on lawyer ni.
Me pacho bar association me nya adwuma ho. And I don't need their consent.
Almost one me a lawyer for.
I mean I want some.
I'm confessed that be there to come and register no.
I can use you cry. Mama to aso.
Anti to aso.
So so the point is
that your certificate and you tell.
Anybody crazy say also.
My God.
See, but the point is so almost I said that say yenye no 7-0 to prove say
ye case na ye 5-4 no de na substance kakra wo case of substance wo no your people and what mention
Yes.
kept on insulting and threatening judges.
Yes, judges.
170 no. What's it more beer and Kawasa? But say also your lawyer near.
Just
also your lawyer near. Then now to be argue say obi the 5-4 we near. And yet obi the 7-0 we near.
And
I mean
you see, and it just say na junu done it. Me say cotton wool, shipload of cotton wool modu.
I mean how?
Me say Akufo Addo adwene done it no. A shipload of cotton wool e modu chain.
How?
Kwabra. Who was some more than no? Now court no. Afarijan o continue box with him. Afarijan. Yeah, ono na ye electoral commissioner. The only returning officer. He availed himself for scrutiny. He availed himself for scrutiny.
Wonderful.
And no judge. Look, Afarijan never said he won't avail himself for judges to be his lawyers
on YouTube,
in the court.
Hot news all time.
We saw justices behave like lawyers for Mensa.
Straight up.
Justices, they behaved like lawyers for the defendant. That is how they behaved. They behaved like lawyers defending her rights. When it was not about Onenuknu and Nemuasem and one bedroom. Electoral Commission and yet Charles Mensa a bedroom asem na niye kobusa and waka tell say oh the right you have the right to be in a public office and to be mute. What do you mean? Okay, can kwasi say we go to Black Law Dictionary e be ma me judgment na me kan ho asem a then you have obi aniti kwati wunu and ekum to come and tell me this nonsense. Tell me this nonsense. As if say we don't reason, as if say we don't think. So
the point is
why didn't you allow J. Mensa to avail herself for scrutiny if you knew that you had a case? It's appalling. If you hear people like this speak into a microphone to audience like Ghanaians who have suffered the consequences of their actions.
So at least anye ye kura no ye wo EC penny ba ko betina kunyum say look, I'm ready.
Yes,
let's deal with the matter.
Yes, that is if I'm being truthful.
Exactly.
Because everything the back stops with her.
Then in this situation is he self-acclaimed president in a way? Because I have never believed that Akufo Addo won the 2020. Or forcing her on us.
Yes.
Okay. So then you have the president conniving with the EC and judges.
Yes, a syndicate.
Now, Bekasa, and interestingly, MPP Abamu Crawford na defending J. Mensa. The reason why any question back to that canoe.
Yes, and the judges became her lawyers, even while they sat on the case. The judges.
So say
when you were all
the returning officer, no?
Yes,
Ahmed Nasia. John Mahama and some of the Aban, who the merits.
Yes, and demerits. When of course John Mahama wa anko kase yencha vote to mu. Moses and calculation no. Why na ade no so ye nkontabuo no.
The return officer.
Now we ko tra now ko kikan kwasi asem now be jina ko to Black Law Dictionary. No obi so any ticket kono no abi jina kikan kwasi asem. Kwabra, look, this country is a very serious country. I'm telling you what happened at the Eshenipa Bono. They are not aware. Now I will go back to the John Mahama kind and I tell them what wisdom they think they can try to rubbish and whatever. But I'm telling them, me say beka krakwabna, we be call law school mani nyai. Because I'm try a bigger, better, finest.
Okay, so okay, say CDD, and I think say unfortunately my producer as usual mankind into references and crossing my mind because recently there was a survey. There was a survey, right? Nebua.
Yeah.
Kwame, you know it.
They did it. The Afrobarometer.
The Afrobarometer, yeah, almost
they did it.
Judges, we presidency. No way, presidency and judiciary, right?
Yes.
And the parliament.
Oh, I should have brought my.
Yeah, we're having this on our even no. Yeah, young one Kwame, the documents are with you. And it was clear. And then there was another EBI. You know, the Sunday. Emmanuel Wilson. Then this Sunday.
Really?
Yes. On this, I think one of the institutions almost survey on Ghana judicial system. Emma. About 60% of the people know I can say some do must be court to the Bodia. I think we have it here. Perfect. Any.
You are watching Juicy News on YouTube.
Okay, so who is corrupt? Ghana 2022. This is the Afro Barometer, right? And the Ghana Police. Office of the Presidency, members of Parliament, judges, and magistrates. Finito. And it's 46% of Ghanaians, and they hold that view. About half of the populace, they believe that.
So,
I mean, you see, corrupt.
When Wajuni Nyajuma, na untie nyansa.
But unim the omoye. Almost say there is difference between being corrupt and being partisan.
Okay, there's a difference. Being partisan is who they are, and being corrupt is what defines them. That's the definition.
Okay. So being partisan driving almost to the corruption point.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure. Kwara.
All right.
John Mahama asimo kan no. Yeah, they couldn't find any fault with their Kandapa kan even when it is a national security threat element comment to advise judges say enyoma na amoye no e bedroom rebi no na nipa eluso trust judges and judiciary nim to the extent say they would want to take the law into their own hands and misbehave. These are the kind words of Kandapa. Kind words. Because it's very difficult for words like this to be spewed by Obia Owabemu. And so we were kind. Say or no dear, he wasn't corrupted before his speech. So I find that to be very kind words. What is the wisdom in it? Kara? The moral or the lesson? The moral lesson. And they say, opening, there be a assembly betom anymore. No more ya sem no amana quiet to say MPP aban enya asem a eno mranko NDC aban enya asem a eno so mranko eno no is to say statute ho mo be kan statute no mo kan statute no ba kan black law dictionary na dictionary ene edi bu aten ene edi eye kinesichi nipa ono no we are accountable to the Ghanaian no ometena dwam na onsese akwan of so ehu say Akufo Addo na arena election no enkyere ye wabra wa maye 8 different results you are nipa no calculation na ye no wodam nyu obi na ye ma no yes
but sebegam na ye the same calculation kyere ya osmemma
me na na man kromo so no kura ye ba akopɛ so sisi achia na ujina bedwe mu achia uda mpa so achia ujina ahwehwe ni mu achia ubu pakura achia mena na mankroma no enti se no kura ya ba ko a unkodru Ted Johnson enka se na ade no eye 100
na okodru
odu Joshua o se na eye 42 udu konongo o se 80 afewa kodru besiase o say say me ja enai wo akire back and forth
into the 8 figures na ba kire
8 different figures ana me na ye to abatia me no me se nya hwe ono de o ma kire de entie ye to aba ne tia me na nkuntabu no me no court asema John Mahama de call court ne tintini ni tietia no
8 figures no match them dia na ye no kure
one can say me ko kan ballot paper so dabi me fa ballot paper me fa me results ma nemo me de ma me na begina court say won mebu na djuma ho nkonta entre Ghana fo say results na wo se malusu no o mekyere kwan a me fa so a me lusu ye na me fa nya futu o fa nkofie e fa nkobom bra.
This is simple.
Nyansani what na asema court what Jimmy a abi Jimmy
News on
me say so wo ba Jimmy fo a abra e ka uyi ware wo dia totwene kranke ye.
This is simple.
Nyansa then you go and you want to use him for your comments because you think he has had that international leverage. I won't mean you big done well Akufo Addo. You can never be like him. I'm telling you, Akufo Addo can never be 1% of John Mahama when it comes to values, when it comes to personality. Onye kromfo, onye tutubotom ni onye balawo, onye corrupted,
onye kromfo okay.
Onye corrupted.
Your friends John Mahama.
Now John Mahama's comment, Kwara, to end it.
Yeah.
John Mahama's comment. O say you work down the judiciary. Now obi a cheche. Kwara, how many times haven't you sat in public, mentioned judiciary, made the assembly court? Na ye cheche o.
Almost say unanimous 7.
How many people haven't laughed over the comment say go to court? Because immediately you are told to go to court, you know the end from the beginning. Is that not the case? Because me obi ka chem say list will go to court. Minim say onim judge no anya mra no onim wa bon. Me say there is no MPP lawyer. Hey, obi ti say Gary Numako. You cannot find your way in anywhere in NDC to be an NDC lawyer. You can't qualify. Me am say. I'm not ben onim. But onim judge. Me say. I'm not ben onim. Never NDC lawyers. Eduji kura na ya kwala wom. Eduji. Wona ya kwala wom. Kwabra. Itakula. Na me yase. Instead of, it's not as if we could not have done that. We used propaganda to destroy ourselves. And again, I hear Timika. Kwabra won't say one people lawyer da. Won't say one NDC lawyer da. Yeah, one NDC judge and you NDC MPP judge. I know the old TV da. Why in the free war? There be judge Ben and organ ha. On your lawyer answer no question judge. What's your power? You refuse to think.
Because of time, let's do this.
You refuse to think.
So the other two
the PowerPoint John Mahama can.
What are not to recently, Sergeant Akufo Addo appointing a known MPP
lawyer. Activist.
What kind lawyer or your MP full or your full soldier?
Okay.
Or your foot soldier. The video is there, right?
He will be offended if you say he's a foot soldier.
Oh, but say
he's an activist.
What do I say? So the point is say Akufo Addo evidence is way. One appointed MPP full soldier as a judge. Now say I find it difficult.
You use words say I say selfish and parochial political interest. I don't say bro for no can now kick out Tibo manager say what make
anyway
sense. So the last point
we have just 9 minutes to
he's calling for an urgent need of the judiciary to make corrections and changes, just to paraphrase. And also unfortunately Tio akwali ni nyansa dodo ni nyansa no omu ntimi ntiase nyansa ni kasa nyansa ni penetiase. Unfortunately the current chief justice and I said the current leadership entimi nyesa changes Nemom a new chief justice can do that. Why? For the first time in the history of the world Ghana's Chief Justice Kwesi Ani-Yeboah has been accused of bribery. Diademudie ne kode ayesa akrabode ne banchinyina wajibi pay. Koto pa. Uni mama so no bon kwan.
You are watching Juicy News on YouTube.